how should you prepare a house for sale when selling it?
Well, that's a good question. There are a lot of things that one should do. Many times when we go and evaluate a house, there are things that bother the seller that really don't have anything to do with the marketability of the house. So there might be something that sticks out to them, that a certain bathroom is painted a certain way, and they're like, oh, and I have to get that bathroom painted white. Probably not going to make a huge difference in the marketability of the house. But there can be things that don't bother the seller at all that are hugely important to the marketability of the house. Where, front door, the dog has scratched the paint off. That might not be a big deal to the seller, but that is our first impression, so that's a huge deal. So I would say, that's something that we need to do. There are certain things that people need to know what we should focus on. The three biggest are the painting and power washing of the exterior of the house. Nobody wants to see a house covered in cobwebs or looks grungy from the outside. So that is a good way to start a first impression. Landscaping, fresh mulch, freshly edged, some flowers in a pot. That's what makes a house look very livable and inviting, and that's a fairly inexpensive way of improving the look of the house. And then interior paint. After time, we have handprints on the walls underneath the light switches. We have handprints around the door handle, whatever, and just those things can't be necessarily cleaned. And so some interior paint, some neutral paint makes a huge difference. Possibly we might need to replace the carpet with a neutral color, or possibly we might be able to steam clean the carpet, make it look a lot better. But these are three relatively inexpensive ways to prepare a home, and those are expenses that I'm going to be able to recoup for the seller. People have dated kitchens. People have maybe old fencing that they want replaced, or people have dated carpet in the upstairs bonus room or whatever. Those things are certainly, if you were to do them, they would improve the marketability of the house, but I'm not going to be able to get you 100% of that money. So if the kitchen costs $75,000 to update, and I can get you 50 of that in the resale of your home, it's probably not worth the seller making that kind of investment. But exterior paint, power washing, landscaping, and interior paint are three huge things. I just had a home for an out-of-state client just a couple weeks ago, and this was a home that their family had lived in, and they had passed away. And so out-of-state heirs were taking care of it, and fortunately they had some money that they were allowed me to utilize to increase the marketability of this house. We had one board that was damaged on the deck, and so we replaced that, and we did some landscaping, and we did power washing, and we did interior paint. And this was a home that was for sale in a rough market. And this house sold for nearly full price and went under contract in 5 days. And I think the seller ended up giving me a budget of about $3,000. I think we spent $1,800 in the preparation of the home, so they were pleased that we went under budget. And then that thing sold in less than a week, and it closed in just a few weeks after that, and the sellers were very happy. So people talk about staging. It's not hugely important. People talk about making improvements and modernizing and updating. It's important for what people want, but we might not necessarily be able to get you all of that money that you put into it. But it is hugely important that you have to have a little bit money to spend so the home will sell quickly and you can get top dollar for it.